Thank you very much, everybody. First, I wanted to welcome all of you. And the Food for Thought Committee is 22 volunteers, so I'm not going to mention everybody's name, but particularly I want to thank Barb Flynn, Dorothy Fawcett, and Melody Ritter for their great work and all the staff that helped here tonight. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge and thank some of the dignitaries who are here tonight. Of course, Congressman Leonard Lance, Rodney Frelinghuysen, Congressman, and Assemblyman Bucco was here. He had to leave, but he was here. Paul Boudreau, the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Carolyn Beauchamp, the CEO of our state office, Mental Health Association of New Jersey, Valerie Fox, founder and president of the Mental Health Coalition, and then Rebecca Feldman from the Morristown Council, and Allison Deeb. So thank you to all the dignitaries. So every year I have a small opportunity to talk about the Mental Health Association of Morris County. So let me tell you a little bit about our association. We have a unique vision and a unique perspective. We carry a hopeful message regarding people with mental illness, that they do not need to live on the margins of society, marginalized by their disease. We need a hopeful message today, especially with all the media accounts that represent the plight of people with mental illness and what they struggle with. Every year, our outreach services provide a ladder to independence for people living in state institutions, on the streets, in jail, in homeless shelters, in motels, and in substandard rooming homes. We give them the tools to fight mental illness and addiction in what is often a long and arduous struggle. We do not give up on them in that struggle, but rather walk with them in their darkest hours, and we help them move one rung at a time on the ladder that we climb together. We believe that mental illness is not a reason to lose hope for the future. We have seen people recover from schizophrenia, depression, substance abuse, anxiety disorders, bipolar illness, and eating disorders. We see that every day. Often this recovery does not mean that the illness becomes invisible, but rather that the illnesses are managed on a daily level so people can live free and productive lives. We believe that hope is the greatest weapon in the arsenal to fight mental illness. This is particularly important as our society, even often mental health professionals, rip away the hope of people that struggle. Every day we see the impact of applied hope on people's lives as they move one step at a time towards wellness and in pursuit of their aspirations. Many people we serve even take that great step of becoming mental health professionals on our own staff at the Mental Health Association. We also believe that one of the most powerful forces in the healing process is human kindness. In fact, basic kindness is the single most absent ingredient in every failed therapeutic intervention. But when there is kindness, there is no limit as to the height of people and how much they can heal. When you speak to people who are advanced in their recovery, they almost always mention the role of that one person who reached out to them when they were most in need, and that made all the difference for them in their recovery. We believe that society sends all the wrong messages about mental illness, often inappropriately associating it with crime. It is unjust to attribute violence to an entire class of people who, as a result of psychiatric impairment, are much more likely to be victims of crimes than perpetrators. It is these false stereotypes of inherent violence that also create the unintended consequence of discouraging people from accessing the care they need to attain wellness. I would encourage all of you to look at the media reports of violence and look at the way people with mental illness are unfairly stigmatized, when in fact a very small percentage of people, mostly people that go untreated with psychosis and addiction, commit violent acts. The majority of people with mental illness are just trying to live free and decent lives and get the help they need to live in the community and outside of institutional and other restrictive care. We believe that people in the community at large, when confronted with mental illness, want to do the right things, but often do not know what to do. That is why our newest initiatives, such as Mental Health First Aid, helps to educate the community as to how to understand when someone is in crisis and how to step in with concrete steps. In the last year, we served 5,000 people through our various educational, case management, self-help, and advocacy services. But let me tell you about two new initiatives that we started this year to help our community. First, by listening to our constituents, we have learned that often people with mental illness reach out to ministers, rabbis, imams, and priests before they seek professional mental health support. However, in speaking with over 50 faith leaders in the past 2 years, we have learned that these faith leaders often do not feel equipped to address the mental health issues that they see in their congregations. Faith leaders are on the front lines. In addition, we have learned from people in recovery from serious mental illness and substance abuse that faith experience is often a key to healing. People in advanced recovery often say things like, "I was not meant to die that day. There was a plan for me," or "I have learned to find meaning in my suffering." And yet, as a mental health system, we often do not give clients permission to explore their spirituality. We do this for valid reasons, such as the fear of losing our standing as secular organizations, or true fears that extreme religious thoughts are often tied into psychotic thinking for people with schizophrenia. However, there has to be a way to give area clergy the tools to work with people with mental illness in ways that honor the role of spirituality and healing, but does not feed into confused thinking or psychosis. That is why this year we have launched our new creative program, the Mental Health Faith Support Fund, which includes having trained mental health professionals available to go directly to houses of worship to provide hands-on clinical training, consultation, and education with area clergy and their congregants to give them the tools they need so people in their congregations can recover and attain wellness. Our second new initiative has been to develop a new program, assisted outpatient treatment, through a generous grant for the New Jersey Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services. This new grant is an exciting venture which, for the first time, allows us to provide services not just in Morris, but in Sussex County. This program is based on the premise that denial is often built into serious mental illness, and that some people who benefit from medication and treatment but consistently drop away from it could benefit from a court order which mandates them to accept care in lieu of a hospitalization. We are leading this program in a unique way, as we have brought together leaders from the mental health, judicial, and county systems in both counties to create a new coordinated level of care that will provide struggling residents with new avenues to independence. In all of our long-standing and also in our newer initiatives, we are committed to our great cause to help to ameliorate the suffering of people with mental illness and their families. We strive to make the burden on their shoulders that much lighter by using our own strong shoulders to help them bear that burden. Tonight, by your presence, you are supporting our great cause, and for that we are grateful. I appreciate all your help, and I'm going to turn it over to Emerson Crooks, our board chair, to introduce Leonard Lance. Thank you.